SATUR. Is the Sabbath on SATUR day? Yes, it is. Tons of different languages around the world. When you put in SATUR day and you translate it in Google Translate, it comes to be Sabbath. So the word for seventh day in tons of different languages around the world is Sabbath. Look at this. Shabbat, Sabtu, Sabti, Shabbaturi, Sabtu, Sabota, Sabadu, Sabato. Look at all these languages that sound like Sabbath. And who's the one that confused the languages? There is the name of it called Babel, because Yahuwah did there confuse the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahuwah scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. That's Barashit or Genesis 11 and verse 9. So a bunch of languages around the world confirm that the Sabbath is on what they call SATUR day, the seventh day of the week, right? And in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. You also got to ask Yahuwah for the ability to discern these things and for wisdom, right? Because if you look at it, what is the most defiled day of the week? SATUR day. This is when people are at the clubs drinking, partying. People get paid the night before, so they're spending lots of funds on the Shabbat, which is also against the Shabbat. Satan is the mighty one of this world, so he knows how to get people to defile the most Kadash day of the week, which is the most separate day of the week, the most Kadush or separated day of the week, which is the Shabbat, the seventh day. Now, some people will falsely claim that the Sabbath cannot be on that day of the week because SATUR day is named after SATURN. But first, this is the day that Yahuwah has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. That's what scripture says. All days belong to Yahuwah. And every single day of the Gregorian calendar is named after a mighty one. So if you keep the Sabbath on Sunday, that's sun worship day. Monday, moon worship day. TUES day, that's worshiping this deity, the demon of war. WEDNES day, that's this deity here. WODIN. THUR day, that's this deity here that they put in the movies. FRI day, that's this deity here. So that argument is completely dead. The Sabbath day is on what they call SATUR day, but we don't call it that. We call it the seventh day, the Sabbath day, the Shabbat, which is what they call it in tons of different languages around the world. When Yahuwah is the one who confused the tongues, think about that. Yahuwah is not the author of confusion. He gives us witnesses. He gives us wisdom in discerning. Hallelujah. He leads us into all truth. Now, how about the lunar calendar? That's also false if you look at scripture. This is from Yubalim or Jubilees chapter 6. I'm reading from the Sefer app. Jubilees chapter 6 verse 36. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon. Look at that. They will make observations of the moon. What is that? You're looking at the moon to determine what day you're in. How it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. How does it come in 10 days too soon? Because Yahuwah's calendar is 364 days. The lunar calendar is 354 days. So if you keep the calendar according to looking at the moon, you are going to be 10 days off of Yahuwah's calendar of 364 days from the book of Enoch, chapter 72. For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order. If you look at the moon, you're going to disturb the order. And make an abominable day the day of witness, and an unclean day a feast day. An unclean day a feast day. The Shabbat is a feast day. You're going to put the Shabbat on an unclean day, on a day that is not the Shabbat. And they will confuse or confound all the days, the separated with the unclean and the unclean with the separated. They will go wrong as to the months and Sabbaths. If you observe the moon, like it says right here, you will go wrong in your Sabbaths. That is what scripture says. And feasts and Yubalim or Jubilees. The moon has nothing to do with the Sabbath. That is a false doctrine, and scripture says it right there. If you follow the moon, you'll be 10 days off and you will go wrong as to when the Sabbath day actually is. Yahuwah gave us the witness. The Sabbath day is the seventh day of every week. The lunar calendar also goes against Yahuwah's command, the fourth command, to work 6 days and rest on the seventh. Alright, because if you look at the lunar calendar, and this is not an attack against the person who made this calendar, I'm just using it as an example. Check how much days are in between the fourth Shabbat and the first Shabbat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 working days. 8 working days in between the Sabbath. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahweh your Elohim, your mighty one. This is why we gotta do our research and fact check what people are telling us. Yahweh will lead us into all truth. I got a long full video about this on my YouTube if you guys want a more in-depth understanding. Much love and much shalom to you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Shalom, shalom.